It's the late summertime of 2017. Doug Coby, the usual hunted in the championship, was looking for a fourth straight title. But he sat deep in the standings and was better off starting fresh in 2018 to win that fifth championship ring. But about that. If you asked anyone who the juggernaut was in the mid-2010s for NASCAR modified racing, you'd be lying to yourself even if you weren't a fan of his, to not say Doug Coby. After joining forces with Michael Smariglio III in 2014, Coby has yet to lose a championship fight, with the three-peat already achieved, the most victories across those 3 seasons for a total of 13, and the best average finish of anyone at 5.6. Nobody could stand with a straight face and say he wasn't the man to beat, but this season would test him and his team to keep that honor. The dawn of a new season saw a new race venue to start the season off with, and the Myrtle Beach Speedway was that racetrack. This brought an open playbook as nobody knew how these cars would drive on a track as abrasive as Myrtle Beach was. In addition, Coby and Smariglio brought on Mayhew Tools as the primary sponsor for his car, only boosting the opportunity for him and his team to get another ring. In a very slow-paced, tire conservation race, the Rocket Rob Summers would lead most of the race, but lose the lead to the man they call the natural Timmy Solomito, whom would hang on to win. Coby and his other main rival Priest struggled all day, and late in the event, Coby was involved in a spin on a late race restart. This forced him to finish 13th and not get his 4-peat off to a hot start. But the tour would head to Thompson Speedway, where Coby has been dominant at over the past few seasons. So surely, after winning half the races over the past 2 seasons at Thompson, Coby would be the one to watch at the icebreaker, right? Well, only for 1 lap. He qualified 3rd, and on the initial start, Chase Dowling had an issue that stacked the field up, sending Max Zachem spinning and drawing the caution. However, on the backstretch, Coby was clipped as everyone was slowing down and slammed into the wall, ripping the right front tire off the car and landing on the hood. As I stood in the stands, I couldn't believe what I just saw and how the race was ripped wide open for anyone to win with the best team at this track out. With Coby and eventually Priest out, 2 more title contenders would emerge, Timmy Solomito, whom finished 2nd, and Rowan Pennick, bringing Old Blue back to victory lane in the team's 60th year anniversary. In one of the craziest starts to a NASCAR modified season, the 2 favorites of Priest and Coby was mired way back in 12th and 16th respectively. Coby was 46 points off the leader Timmy Solomito. In a points system where it is only 1 point per position, Coby was a full 2 races behind the leader if he was to max out the points over the next 2 races. If Coby was going to get his season back on its feet, the Stafford Speedway was the track to do it at. He has won more at Stafford over the past 3 seasons than any other driver with 5 victories. He would start on the pole in the Spring Sizzler and take the lead. After all the pit strategy the 200-lap Sizzler has, Coby would work his ways to the front with 33 laps to go. With just 12 laps remaining, Priest would make a move to the bottom and make the winning pass while holding off multiple attempts from Coby to get the lead back. This was huge for both drivers to get some points on the board, as Coby now sat in 11th, 36 points off the lead. Coby was able to keep the momentum going into the next race at Langley. An interesting little note is that crew chief Phil Moran mentioned that the town ordinances in Langley allow for the modified to not use the resonators behind the headers, which is something I just learned about, and that as a crew chief, he has to tune the engine accordingly. Moran obviously tuned the engine correctly as Coby would win the pole and lead 134 laps. Coby mentioned the car was a bit too tight to hold off Timmy Solomito. However, Solomito got into the bumper of Coby and sent him spinning and allowing Solomito to get his 2nd win of the year. This forced Coby to finish 15th, crushing all the gains he made last week and during the race. Coby was back in 9th, 51 points behind the leader. Over the next 3 races, Coby would be competitive, but the guys winning were the point leader of Timmy Solomito, along with contenders Ryan Priest and Bobby Santos, whom gained lots of points back. Coby scored a 4th and 3rd in Thompson and Riverhead, but at New Hampshire, he was up front all day exchanging the lead, until 2 laps to go, where Cup Series invader Ryan Newman made contact with him as he attempted to make a 3-wide pass through the middle with 2 laps to go. Another chance at making huge gains was diminished, and after 7 races, Coby was sitting in 7th place, 42 points off the lead. However, the champion that Coby is knows he has the best group of guys around him, and this would be the turning point of the season for him. As the calendar shifted to August, it meant the return to the Stafford Speedway, and Coby was ready. He started outside pole position and would lead 135 laps in total and get by Timmy Solomito on a restart using the outside lane. However, Ryan Preece would pit later for tires and on the restart with 3 to go, pass Coby for the lead and the win. Another variable the crews would have to adapt to is the new softer right rear option tire the teams were allotted. The softer tire would wear quicker while offering more grip, and it seemed as if Coby's team was struggling a little bit after the pit stop to keep the speed that the car had before the pit stop. As the Bud 150 at Thompson came up, this would come into play. Now during this race, Coby and Preece were the class of the field and pitted late for tires. Coby took the lead with 22 laps to go and did his best to hold off Preece until there were 16 laps left, and Preece took the lead. Coby was doing everything he could, keeping pressure on the 6 car, and with 2 to go, he made a look to the bottom, but as they exited turn 4, he brushed the wall, piercing the bead in the tire and causing a flat tire and him slamming the wall in the final lap. Now, depending on how you look at it, NASCAR could have kept the race green, but they threw the yellow, and because the field freezes and Coby was able to maintain pace and cross the finish line, he was credited with the 2nd place finish. Finally, Coby had some luck go his way, and at the end of the year, those points he earned were huge. At Thunder Valley, Coby had another great day, and finally his point rivals had poor days. He avoided many of the accidents that Bristol seemed to cause and gave Patrick Emmerling a run for the money at the end of the race. He made some minor contact when the door opened, but everyone controlled their cars and held on to the finish. Coby ended up 2nd, closing in to the point leader Solomito, whom he trailed by only 17 points. At the Cement Palace of Seekonk Speedway, Coby was looking to use the success from his victory at last year's open modified race to get his first win of the year. He moved his way up through the field in the first 60 laps and was putting constant pressure on the leader Matt Hirschman. He had a wheel on Hirschman, and Hirschman ended up spinning out from the lead. From then on, Coby had the field covered and finally got that first victory of the year. A big smile for Coby for the win and the points, as he was now within 2 points of the leader. The big comeback came, and it was time to focus on the title and winning rather than worrying about what could go wrong. On a foggy night at Riverhead, Coby was looking his first win of his career at Riverhead. He would lead 85 laps and be leading late in the race until heavy lap traffic came into play. With 5 laps to go, Solomito would make a move to the bottom and snatch the lead and the win away from Doug. He'd make every attempt he could to chase the 16 down, but had to settle for a 2nd again. Visually frustrated, Coby wanted to make sure that after the next race, he'd be the one hoisting the trophy. After the heartbreaker at Riverhead, Coby wanted to increase the morale and confidence for his team as they headed into the final stretch, and the non-points race at the Charlotte Motor Speedway's Legend Track was the best choice to get back in the winner's circle. It may not have been on the sweet 1.5-mile track, but it got the taste of winning back in the 2 teams' mouth, and they dominated, lapping up to the 3rd place car and easily getting the win. It may have gone unnoticed, but it may have been what the team needed to win the title. Back in the title chase, the schedule turned to the Magic Mile. Now all the championship chasers were given a gift before the green flag flew, as the point leader Ryan Preece would skip this race, which was the 2nd race of the year he skipped, to compete in the Xfinity Series race for Joe Gibbs. At the start, Timmy Solomito would lead, but end up having issues in finishing 24th. Coby would end up leading a majority of the race and had a chance to win late until he hit the rear Nerf bar of Patrick Emmerling with 2 laps to go while running 3rd, resulting in a 14th place finish. He would finally take over the points after 14 races, but left a lot of points on the board on the final lap. Would those points come back to bite him? Let's find out. The fall final at Stafford would see Ryan Preece lead the field to the green and try to gain back as many points as possible after skipping New Hampshire. Coby started outside him, but would fade to as low as 9th by lap 90, and in an odd day, not have much to contend with the guys fighting for the title. Eric Goodale, who was 6th in the points, and Ryan Preece would exchange the lead at the end, and with just 4 laps to go, Goodale would make the pass for the win and take another point away from Preece late in the event. Coby ended up 7th and would take a slim 10-point lead into the finale at Thompson, where anything could happen. In one of the most competitive point chases in series history, the finale would consist of 6 drivers whom all had a mathematical chance at the title, as the top 6 in points were separated by 33 points. Coby and his crew would bring their favorite car, the banked track car, to Thompson and start second. They would prove why they loved the car, as they would lead a race high 83 laps, clinching more bonus points for leading the most laps. However, at the end, Preece would drop out with a mechanical failure. And as only a few of the leaders pitted under caution, Coby would put tires on but drop himself back in the pack. But in the final 20 laps, all the guys in the points were ahead of Coby and looking for every point they could get up front. Solomito would try to make a 3-wide pass for second and be involved in a wreck with Bonsignor and Coby, but all 3 would avoid damage. Solomito would make the pass for the win with 2 to go and hold off Chase Dowling for his 5th win of the year. Solomito won the battle along with Ryan Preece's number 6 team for Eddie Partridge to get the Owners' Championship, but Doug Coby won the war and would claim his 4th title in a row and 5th overall. When the dust settled, Doug Coby won by just 6 points over Timmy Solomito. Solomito had 5 wins to Coby's 1, but that 1 additional DNF seemed to be the difference. Both drivers had 10 top 5s and 11 top 10s. However, Coby had a 7.38 average finish to Solomito's 8.25. Now that's amazing how tight the points chase was, and the modified tour can have this much competition for a championship without relying on a gimmicky playoff system for it. Many fans say this was Preece's title if he didn't skip both races, and that is true, but he made the right decision to use his opportunity to further his career, and you can't fault a guy for that and penalize others. Coby contributed much of his title to how good of a crew Chief Phil Moran is, as he makes sure the car is a race-winning car when it is loaded into the trailer to go to the racetrack, not just making changes during practice or the race. This may have seemed like the year of 2017 was the year for using the Super Bowl winning Patriots as the theme for anyone coming back from a huge deficit. But in this case, it is a true definition of a great team that came back and never gave up to win a record-setting title. As the first team and driver to win 4 titles in a row since the inception for the NASCAR Modified Tour. Today, Doug is a 6-time champion and is running a part-time racing schedule as he is a full-time realtor and house flipper. Maybe Doug will snag another ring before it's all over. So long from the Speedway.